What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. As always, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you're watching this after the fact. And if you're new to the content, man, super grateful for you guys checking me out. You know, this content game is a grind, and you guys are a part of the journey now. What more can I say? You know, we Philadelphia Eagles fans over here. We Philadelphia Sixers fans over here. We welcome in all kinds of fans, really. It don't matter if you're a fan of the Lakers, you're a fan of the Timberwolves, you're a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks. If you like basketball, I'm your guy. If you like football, I'm your guy at the end of the day. But let's lock in on the content, man. A lot of things to discuss. Stefan Gilmore. Wow. Stefan Gilmore is an Indianapolis Colts now. He has signed a 2-year, $23 million deal. That's about $11.5 million per year. And good deal for him. He got over $10 million a year. That's what he was looking for. But most importantly, he was looking for that 2-year commitment from whatever team he decided to sign with. And let's be honest, when you look at the numbers that he signed for with the Colts, we should have known the Eagles were not a player for this man, right? When you think about it from the payday that he got, when you think about it from that perspective, because the Eagles have shown vehemently that they're not spending any money in this offseason. They made that also very clear. And that is something to really scratch my head at, because at the end of the day, you got to pay the player. And if you don't want to cut the check, then you might end up becoming a wreck. You got to spend money if you want to get better in this league at the end of the day. Now, sometimes you can get lucky where you draft well and things absolutely pan out in your favor, but ultimately, you got to pay to play. You got to spend something to get something. You got to give something to earn something. You get what I'm saying? So, this is such an interesting situation because not only did we lose out on Stefan Gilmore, we also lost out on Steven Nelson, who signed with the Houston Texans on the 2-year deal as well. So Steven Nelson was our cornerback 2 this past season with Darius Slay, and he played fairly well. We gave him a 1-year prove-it deal, and he was pretty reliable. If I had to grade his time with us, Steven Nelson, I would have to grade him like a B-. I would have to give Steven Nelson a B- playing with us. You know, he wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he wasn't terrible either. He was middle of the pack. He was above average. I'll give him that without a doubt. But he's a Texan, and we missed out on a guy who knew our defense with Steven Nelson, and then we missed up on the top tier former defensive player of the year and Stefan Gilmore. So that kind of gives us slim pickings at the cornerback position in free agency. And now that begs the question: are the Eagles going to go head first into drafting cornerback in this draft? That's interesting to think about, because you got guys like Sauce Gardner, who's there, Derek Stingley, Kyrie Elam, Trent McDuffie. Now, Sauce Gardner, I highly doubt that young man to be there when we had to pick at, 15 or 16? I highly doubt he'll be there. 15, yep, 15. But a guy like Derek Stingley, maybe he could fall. Trent McDuffie is definitely going to be there. Kyrie Elam is definitely going to be there. It's all about, do they feel like they can actually get the best value with that 15th overall pick? Because now that you're out of the Stefan Gilmore race, now that you lost out on Steven Nelson, and most likely he probably got a better deal with the Texans than he would have got in Philly, what are your options? You're not going to go in free agency and sign a big name if there's anyone left. You have a lot of depth at the cornerback position already when you think about Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, Ted Gowan, Kerry Vincent Jr., Zach McPherson, Mac McCain, Craig James. You have a lot of corners on this team. Obviously, Stefan Gilmore and Avonte Maddox are our starters on the boundary and in the slot, respectively, right? But when you think about the other boundary, the guy who's going to play opposite of Darius Slay, who will that be? How much stock are we willing to put in a guy like Ted Gowan or Kerry Vincent Jr.? How much stock can we put into the development of a Zach McPherson? How much stock are we willing to lock into that? Because Zach McPherson, although he has great measurables, how sound is he from a technique perspective? right? We have to consider the fact that the Eagles may draft a corner in the first round. When was the last time they did that? I don't remember. Somebody refresh my memory. Has the Eagles ever drafted a cornerback in the first round? Have we ever drafted a DB in the first round? Please let me know who it was. Please refresh my memory. But, or rather, because the Eagles, they have to shore up the DB room. Ryan McLeod went to the Colts. They decided not to bring him back, but we did bring back Anthony Harris. I like Anthony Harris. He's fair. He's a C plus. He's a C plus B minus corner. I mean, well, safety. But Lito Shepherd was a Lito Shepherd. Chris R. and Eagle Slayer says Lito Shepherd. Okay, we haven't drafted a cornerback in the first round since Lito Shepherd, and Lito Shepherd panned out tremendously for us. I was a huge Lito Shepherd fan, still am to this day. That Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown combination from back in the day, and that Jim Johnson defense was spectacular. Lito Shepherd was always getting picks, always getting pick sixes. Lito Shepherd was just very, very impactful for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then we had that combination. I think it was Asante Samuel and who was it? Asante Samuel, Sheldon Brown, or was it Asante Samuel, Lito Shepherd? I can't remember the combination. But Lito Shepherd, I'm glad you guys reminded me. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Eagle Slayer. Thanks, Easy Money. Lito Shepherd was the last corner we drafted in the first round. So will the Eagles do it again? That's something we have to think about. Like I said, you got Sauce Gardner. Will he fall? A lot of other teams, a lot of other publications and reporters are thinking that Sauce Gardner can go in the top 12, top 13. Will he fall to 15? It really remains to be seen. It's really going to depend solely on how the quarterback draft class falls. Because as the draft gets closer, a lot of these teams get desperate. And a lot of these teams start to reach for their quarterback, even if the quarterback may not be the most highly touted coming out of college. So these teams have to be, especially a team like the Panthers, right? A team like the Seattle Seahawks, the Saints, maybe they'll draft a quarterback. You never know. But these teams are definitely considered taking quarterbacks. That's a fact. We got 7 people in the live stream. Thank y'all so much for being here. Shout out to my man Michi, Eagles Realist, Easy Money, Eagles Slayer, Chris R, Shockey, Jinx Wolf. What's going on? Happy Friday, fellas. Man, happy freaking Friday. TGIF. It's been nice all week in Philly. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice day today. Got a little bit of a breeze. So I'm looking forward to going out with my lady. You know what I'm saying? Catching some rays, maybe going out for lunch, whatever it may be. I'm looking forward to getting out of the sun. Like, what I love about the summertime the most, about the springtime? You know what I love about warm weather the most? I love being able to go to like the water ice stands and going to get ice cream and a soft pretzel, you know what I'm saying? Cheese pretzels and all that. Some places have pizza pretzels. Have you ever been, if you live in Philly, have you ever been to King's Water Ice on 33rd Street? King's Water Ice, I think that's 33rd and Berks. King's Water Ice. It used to be a Getty right there, but now I think it's a Sunoco across the street. And then it's right across the street from Fairmount Park. All the buses rally right there when they go on their routes. But King's Water Ice, arguably the best water ice in the city of Philadelphia. Oh my goodness! Like I really, if you've been to Philly or if you live in Philly, you know what I'm talking about. King's Water Ice, 33rd and Berks. Oh my goodness! I grew up going there when I went to summer camp. Shout out to Creative Minds Childcare and Developmental Center. My Tanya owns that entire daycare chain. She got 2 buildings in East Falls. Shout out to her. Right there on Ridge Avenue, right next to Kelly Drive. We used to always go to King's Water Ice damn it every single day after a long day of swimming, hiking, going on trips, whatever it was. We used to always go to King's Water Ice, man. I remember exactly what I used to get every single time. Seems to be more, my bad. Seems to be more. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you. That seems to be more. That's 33rd. It seems to be more. That's what it is. Let me just make sure we both are each other, man. But you might be right, though. I think that this is even more. Yep, you're right. That seems to be more right there. Yeah, sure enough. My man, shout out to Rob Smith in the building. Shout out to my man Rob for correcting me, man. It seems to be more. Look, I used to love going there. Like I remember vividly what I used to get. I used to either get mango and passion fruit water ice with a soft pretzel, or I get a large cookies and cream cup of ice cream. I'm not really a soft serve kind of guy. I like what's the opposite of soft serve when you're talking about ice cream? What's the opposite of it? But nonetheless, I used to get cookies and cream ice cream, and I get a cheese pretzel or whatever. Man, like I used to love dipping my pretzel in the water ice, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Look, Eagle says the water ice. Bro, y'all taking me back. It's the weather is getting so much better, and I'm just so grateful to be able to go outside and enjoy it, man. I love the sun on my skin. Like I was out 2 days in a row, and I loved it. I loved it. I don't know. See, Eagles really. See, I don't know, like, cause I like the ice cream that's a little hard. I don't like this. I don't like the ice cream that come out of the machine. Like it's cool. Custard is cool. Like you know what? I think that's custard. I prefer the ice cream that you got to scoop that joint out. That's my kind of ice cream. I don't like that. Like I'm not really the biggest fan of ice cream that comes out of the machine. Hand dip. That's what it's called. I'm a hand dipped kind of guy. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's how I'm feeling. But to get back to some ball, like with the Eagles losing out on Stefan Gilmore and then losing out on Steven Nelson, they have to go cornerback in this draft. Unless they have the utmost faith in Zeke McPherson and who else? Tay Gowan, Kerry Vincent Jr. Who's gonna stand out? Who's gonna make the cut? They had to go corner because they lost out on Stefan Gilmore. Like, right? Wouldn't that symbolize that? Jinx says, "Yo, in your opinion, what's the best cheesesteak in Philly?" Woo, man, the best cheesesteak in Philly. It's so crazy. Like I grew up in the hood, right? So like we love going to the Poppy store to get our cheesesteaks. You know what I'm saying? We go to the Poppy store. Say, "Hey, yo, Poppy, let me get a cheesesteak platter with salt, pepper, ketchup, mayo, fried onions, pickles, sweet peppers, hot peppers. Let me get salt, pepper, ketchup on the fries." You know what I mean? But if I had to choose like a major spot, like a major novelty spot, man, like I love Max's cheesesteaks. They're so good. I love Prince's what was it? What is it? Prince's Steaks? Is it Prince Cheesesteaks or Prince's I can't remember what it's called. Oh man. See, the thing is though, like I love cheesesteaks and I'm willing to try everyone's cheesesteak. That's my thing. Like I'm willing to try everybody's cheesesteak, and I'm not picky about it. So like I'm definitely willing to try it. But sometimes the best cheesesteaks don't even be the big names. Sometimes the best cheesesteaks be neighborhood spots. You know what I'm saying? Like Delisandro's is good, but I don't like the Cheese Whiz. Let me ask you this question: when it comes to y'all cheesesteaks, are y'all Cheese Whiz people, or are y'all American sliced cheese? Because me, I can't do Cheese Whiz on a cheesesteak. That is strange to me. Cheese Whiz on a cheesesteak is blasphemous to me. You got to get sliced American cheese on there. Let it melt on top. You got to. There's no way. There's no way. What do you think of the places directly across from Geno's Steaks? Well, I don't know. Well, let me make this clear. I don't like Geno's Steaks at all. That's just my thing. I'm not a Geno's fan at all. I can't remember who's right directly across from Geno's. I haven't been down there in a while. Eagles Realist says, "I'm from St. Louis. I'm all about the chicken. I'm all about the cheesesteaks. The chicken Philly." You probably meant cheesesteaks. But all right, so everybody's saying American. Yep. Rob Smith says American. Jinx Swift says American. Chris R says American cheese. Cheese Whiz is horrible. That might be Pat's. I don't know, but Pat's same thing. Geno's and Pat's, they not real. Like all right. I don't want to come off as that bitter, that angry person from Philly. But Geno's and Pat's are overrated. They're not the best cheesesteaks in Philly. Let's just make that very clear. And they're a novelty. They're just a name. I can get a better I can get a better cheesesteak from the Poppy store than Geno's and Pat's. I'm being honest with you. I can get a better cheesesteak in my own city by going to the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Seriously. Chicken cheesesteak jinx? Oh yeah. Now, if I'm going for a change of pace, right? And look, it's Friday, y'all. We're gonna take it easy. We ain't gonna go too hard on the sports talk. We got some things that we're gonna talk about. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the Sixers. You know, they play the Toronto Raptors tomorrow. We're gonna talk about, do we take Jalen Hurts' mindset for granted? You know, we're gonna talk about different wide receiver prospects that came into the city. Also, Matt Corral came to the city as well. We're going to talk about other wide receivers that got signed off free agency, like Sammy Watkins and AJ Green. We're going to talk about the Kyler Murray situation a little bit. But a chicken cheesesteak, I go chicken cheesesteak when I'm looking for that change of pace vibe. I love a chicken cheesesteak. But yeah, D Block, they're overrated. Pats and Geno's are supremely overrated. They're just a name. And I ain't going to lie, man. They made me real. I really didn't like how when Geno's had that sign back in the day that said, no English, no service. I don't like that because people come to the city to get a cheesesteak. And the fact that they came to you and that's their first impression, that's not a good look to me. I remember back in the day, I remember when I think I was in middle school or high school, Geno's got in trouble for having that no English, no service. You know how they got signs in certain stores that says no shirt, no shoes, no service. I respect that because you're going to come in my store with a shirt and shoes. You're not going to just come in here on some BS. We're not at the beach. But to have a sign that says no English, no service, that's just utterly disrespectful, in my opinion. That's foul. I don't know if a lot of y'all remember that from back in the day, but they used to have a sign. Ishkabi was good too. But they used to have a sign back in the day that literally says no English, no service. Come on now. You probably dealing with tourists more than anything. And you telling them no English, no service? That's not a good look at all. Like Easy Money said, we're all human at the end of the day. Everybody is obligated to get a cheesesteak. Come on. Everybody. Wasn't a good look on their part. But yeah, man, it gotta be American cheese all day. Like anybody that gets cheeseburgers on their cheesesteaks, I think I don't think they're human. Like they might not even be from this planet. You know, they might be a Fed or something. I don't know. Chris R says, I think Pets and Geno's own exclusive TV rights or something. It pisses me off when I see them on the Eagles games. Yeah, like they definitely got some kind of like partnership with them. But yeah, like I know for a fact Chickies and Pete's has a partnership with the Eagles and with the Phillies and all that kind of stuff because Chickies and Pete's has a restaurant in the actual Phillies stadium. I can't wait to get to a Phillies game. Matter of fact, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna get some Phillies tickets. That's exactly what I want to do, man. D Block says there was a store across the street from Alany High School called Bailey's. They had real good chicken cheesesteaks. They used boneless chicken breasts. Ooh, I'm trying to think. How long ago was this, D Block? I'm trying to remember because I live in that area. I'm not too far from that area. Oh man. Oh damn. Trying to remember, but nonetheless, man, you know, we're gonna go off on a tangent talking about food. But yeah, Stefan Gilmore is a Colt now. We're officially out of that race, and I know we're still in the running for Tyrann Mathieu. Apparently, the Eagles are still working on something with him. Maybe they figured out. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to sign a pre-draft or post-draft, but you know, it would be great if the Eagles could bring in Tyrann Mathieu. But you know, the Eagles. I want to ask you guys a question. Do we take Jalen Hurts' mindset for granted? Do we take the person he is, how he approaches the game, how he approaches business for granted? I ask y'all this because everyone has a boiling point, right? Everyone has a breaking point. Everyone is liable to get fed up in their situation. And everyone is liable to get fed up at a workplace that doesn't seem to value or believe in you. And the Philadelphia Eagles haven't necessarily made moves that show that they believe in him in the long term. As a matter of fact, all of their moves have shown that they're prepared to move on from him. So that begs the question, do we take Jalen Hurts' mindset for granted? I know we're used to having weak-minded quarterbacks in the city, like a Carson Wentz, like a Donovan McNabb. I know we're used to having guys with egos in this building. I know we're used to having guys who have fragile egos. But Jalen Hurts is clearly not that guy. Jalen Hurts is clearly the type of guy that is willing to do whatever's in the best interest of the team. He's willing to take a back seat if he knows he's a liability. He's a hard worker. His work ethic is through the roof. He's a consummate professional. He's a team guy. He's a community guy. He does everything basically perfect besides throw the football. He's going to improve in that regard, by the way. We know he's going to improve. That's not what this conversation is about. This is more so about who he is as a player, who he is as a man, and do we take that for granted? Because the Eagles potentially may end up doing that. Now, of course, the Eagles are always going to operate in their own best interest as an organization, and a player's feelings don't really matter to them. But the way they handled the Carson Wentz situation and bringing in Jalen Hurts showed that they didn't care about his feelings. They told him it was for this reason, but he still took it as a slight. So with us trading picks, to get another first round pick in the following draft, and us being fully prepared to get another quarterback, and the rumors and the moves we've yet to make to show our commitment to him. Who's to say Jalen Hurts isn't fed up? Who's to say Jalen Hurts isn't in a position or a mindset of, you know what, this team really don't believe in me. I'm gonna do everything I can to ball out. I'm gonna help my own stock, and I'm gonna up the price on these dudes. Get what I'm saying? So we got to thinking about that. We got to take that into consideration. The fact that do we take Jalen Hurts' approach to the game, his mindset for granted? Ask yourself that question sometimes. Because, everyone loves to say, Jalen is built for these tough conversations. Jalen is built for, his name to be thrown out in trade talks. And he's built for the media talking about, will the Eagles draft the quarterback or will they trade for Deshaun Watson when that was popping? People kept saying that Jalen Hurts can handle the heat. And I have no doubt that he can. I don't doubt that he can. But we have to put this young man in the best possible position to succeed so we can eliminate any sort of factors that may pertain to the Eagles not doing what they need to do. We need to eliminate that factor. Guys like Sammy Watkins and AJ Green just got picked up off of free agency. Guys who are two big body, 6'2", 6'3", wide receivers who are more so possession guys, red zone guys, chain movers. AJ Green had a great season with the Cardinals last season. Had over 800 yards. He was productive. But in order for Jalen Hurts to succeed, in order for him to have the best possible chance at being the franchise quarterback, you got to put pieces around him. They have to. You think about how they did Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott came in with the keys being handed to him. They gave him Amari Cooper. Then he got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Ezekiel Elliott. He had Jason Witten for like a season or two. Like he has always had weapons, had the offensive line. Now he got a defense. Dak Prescott has always been given everything. Jalen Hurts has really been given nothing besides Devonta Smith and Landon Dickerson. You feel what I'm saying? No slight on Zach Pascal, no slight on Devin Allen, no slight on Quez Watkins or any of those guys. No slight. Quez Watkins was supposed to be Carson Wentz's weapon, but that's neither here nor there. Quez Watkins is now Jalen Hurts' weapon, and we're expecting Jalen Hurts, Quez Watkins, and all those guys, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, to take their games to another level. But all their games are predicated off of each other, right? Like, at what point is Jalen Hurts allowed to get frustrated? At what point is Devonta Smith allowed to get frustrated? Quez Watkins, right? At what point are these guys allowed to get frustrated with the way things are being done? Like I said, a lot of these wide receivers are being taken off the free agent market. My man Sammy Watkins only signed for a 1-year, $4 million deal. You mean to tell me Howie Roseman couldn't cut that? I'm not saying Sammy Watkins is a world beater, but I don't think Sammy Watkins is trash at all. I think Sammy Watkins, he's had some injury problems, but Sammy Watkins is a very good wide receiver, a very good red zone threat. AJ Green had some injury problems back in the day, but he had a good season with the Cardinals, showed that he can still be productive in the number 2 role, put up over 800 receiving yards, came in and stepped up when D-Hop went down. Christian Kirk stepped up. But, Jalen Hurts has to have weapons. He has to. T. Lewis says Jalen better learn how to throw with anticipation or it's a dub. He also says, I think we help Jalen by giving him either Drake London or Jameson Williams. Hey, listen, man, you can't go wrong with those guys. You really can't. Like the Eagles decided to bring in, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, for pre-draft visits, and that tells me that they're looking at the position. That tells me they're considering to draft the position because for the pre-draft visits, I think teams only get about 25 or 30 slots or something like that. I don't know exactly how many slots teams are allowed to give out when it comes to hosting pre-draft visits. But regardless, they're clearly showing interest in these top tier wide receivers. Looking at Jameson Williams, they brought in Chris Olave. I haven't heard Treylon Burks' name yet, so maybe they're not interested in Treylon Burks. We haven't heard Drake London visiting in Philly. Maybe they're not interested in him. You never know. But so far, Jameson Williams has come to the city. Chris Olave has come to the city, and even Matt Corral, the quarterback from Ole Miss, has come to the city. So you got to think like this team is already looking at other options outside of Jalen Hurts. He knows it, and he's a strong-willed kid. But at some point, everyone has their breaking point. Everyone has their point of no return. And I don't want Jalen Hurts to get there. I want Jalen Hurts to still remain poised. I still want Jalen Hurts to remain locked in his development. And if he's going to succeed or be better, they got to put pieces around him. And Hurts will never reach his potential if the Eagles flop in this NFL draft. Let's make that clear. Eagles landed says 30 slots, not including players in schools within close proximity. Okay. So thanks, Eagles landed. So that's important. NFL teams get 30 slots for their pre-draft visits, and that does not include players in the school. That doesn't include schools or players in schools within close proximity to the team. So, okay, that's good. Now, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, and Matt Corral was one of those 30 slots. But Hurts will never reach his full potential if the Eagles flop in this draft. He has Devonta Smith this year, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins. Okay, I expect all those guys to elevate their games. Jalen Hurts obviously has to get better as well. We got 15 people in the live stream, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share and subscribe. Also, turn on the notification bell so you know when I'm live. We give you guys Chalk It Up Sports Daily, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Last week or this week, I missed about 2 shows because my mom has been going through some health. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna keep it funky. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. My mom been going through some health issues these past couple weeks, and it hasn't really been easy on anybody, especially her. So that's why I missed the show yesterday, and I also missed the show on Wednesday. So I appreciate you guys for constantly being committed to Chalk It Up Sports Daily at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, even when I have to cancel a show for some unforeseen circumstances. But mom's been in the hospital, been trying to get her situated, and she's trending in the right direction. She's doing better. Things can always improve, of course. But I'm just glad she's out of the hospital now. Now she's going through some treatment. She's going it's not cancer or anything. My mom doesn't have cancer, you guys. So that's a blessing. My mom doesn't have cancer. Let's put that out there right now. My mom has a disease with her kidney. She has kidney disease. So that's something she inherited genetically. My mom has always had a clean bill of health, but her kidneys started to fail her at age 50. So she is going through the whole dialysis process and getting comfortable with all of that. And we got her checked into her facility to get her treatments, 3 days out of the week. So yeah, man, just been making sure my mom's good. And I appreciate you guys have just really been honestly supportive of that. You guys have been holding me down. You guys have been making me laugh. You guys have been keeping me from getting ultra emotional. So I really appreciate you guys for this locking in, liking the content, continuing to share. We're going to give you guys Chalk It Up Sports daily, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The grind don't stop. My mom is one of my biggest supporters, and she's always asking me, hey, did you do your show today? Hey, make sure you do your show. Make sure you do your show before you come see me, So she's going to be okay, y'all. It's all right. She gonna be okay. My mom gonna be all right. She going through a little something with her kidneys, but she gonna be all right. Worst case scenario, she got to get a transplant, and my family is prepared to do whatever we need to do to make sure she gets that transplant. So listen, you guys, she's gonna be okay. All right. It's not a funeral. We all right. She's gonna be okay. She just got something going on with her kidneys. That's it. But she's gonna be all right. She's out of the hospital. She's good. She got to watch her fluid intake, watch her diet, all that kind of stuff. but she's going to be all right, y'all. So I appreciate the love for sure. Don't get it twisted. I appreciate the love. But, Jalen Hurts, he won't reach his full potential if the Eagles flop this draft. The Eagles got to get him another weapon, especially since you didn't go and get one in free agency, right? So here's the thing. At this point, we didn't get a star wide receiver in free agency. We didn't do it. So you have to draft a top tier wide receiver talent. You have to. And here's another thing that I want you guys to understand as well. Not many quarterbacks in the NFL are capable of making the pieces better around them. You get what I'm saying? Like, not many quarterbacks are good enough to make other wide receivers, or I'll put it to you this way. Everybody doesn't have that Tom Brady gene, right? Every quarterback doesn't have that Pat Mahomes gene or that Aaron Rodgers gene, right? They don't have that gene to elevate everybody around them that's not as talented as they are. You know what I mean? Not everyone has that trait, that skill. Not many quarterbacks can carry their team. And that needs to be taken in consideration. As a matter of fact, most quarterbacks are a product of the players around them. Most quarterbacks are just a sum of their parts. Like, let's be honest. Would Kirk Cousins be the quarterback he is without a Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen, or even when he had Stefan Diggs? No. Jared Goff, he clearly is not the quarterback that we thought he was. Now that he's in Detroit, you take away Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee, you give him, Amon St. Ra and some other pieces, and now he's not the same quarterback he was. Dak Prescott, his games without Amari Cooper are some of his worst games. Now he doesn't have Amari Cooper. Well, will he be able to maintain that? Amari Cooper was huge for him. Their chemistry was legit. But he still has CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, so that still helps his situation, right? Other quarterbacks in the NFL, let's think about it. Jimmy Garoppolo, you take away Deebo Samuel, and think about Matt Ryan, you take away Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. How good is he, right? So not many quarterbacks are really capable of carrying teams above the hump. Not many quarterbacks have that, are supremely elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I say all that to say, in order for Jalen Hurts to maximize his chance with the Eagles, they have to find a way to get some pieces around him. They have to. Otherwise, he's going to fail. And if he fails, it's a direct indictment on Howie Roseman, is it not? Tell me. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. And Michi, you have a point. Matt Ryan was definitely a B+ quarterback before Julio. Julio made him Julio upped his game for sure. Because I think I remember what was the wide receiver they used to have in Atlanta? Was it Robbie White or Roddy White, something like that? I think it was Robbie White, and they had then they have Algie Crumpler at tight end. No, that's a while ago. That's Michael Vick days. But nonetheless, what's up, JC? How you feeling, man? Where was I? Shoot, forgot my thought. What was my thought? Damn. Regardless, not many quarterbacks in the NFL are capable of carrying a team. That's why it's so important that you help Jalen Hurts get the pieces around him. A lot of these guys that we have right now, they're young. They're still trying to prove themselves. You got to get Jalen Hurts some help. It's the only way he'll succeed. It's the only way. It's the only way. But like I mentioned, guys like Sammy Watkins, AJ Green got picked up. AJ Green returned to the Cardinals. Sammy Watkins, he's going to the Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers are going to draft the wide receiver as well. But it's going to be really interesting how this draft thing plays out. The Eagles don't really have too much room for error. They can't afford to screw up in this draft. It's because it's going to hurt everybody involved. Everybody. But I want to ask you guys a question. Are we putting enough pressure on Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen as the offensive play callers? Do we put enough pressure on Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen? Because if you ask me, if you ask me, based off of the way the Eagles played football this past season, leading the league in rushing, it makes you wonder, why wasn't our play action or screen game a legit factor? You get what I'm saying? Like when you run the ball that well, your play action and your screen game should be absolutely potent. But it wasn't. It wasn't. So that we have to ask, did Nick Sirianni and Shea Steichen do the best they could to get the ball in the playmakers' hands? Were they creative enough to create offense for Jalen Hurts, for Devonta Smith, for Quez Watkins, for Dallas Goedert? Were they creative enough? Because when you lead the league in rushing, the way they did, you should be able to keep other offenses or all the defense, off balance. Now, look, I understand Jalen Hurts wasn't the sharpest quarterback, but you mean to tell me you couldn't scheme around that run game? You couldn't scheme easy throws for him in that run game? Shout out to Michi. He says Brian Johnson called some plays too. I don't know if he called them, but he probably suggested, right? I don't know if he exactly called a play, but he had something to do with it as well. Why was it that our passing game still struggled to have some level of consistency, even while we led the league in rushing? It was, and Cal, perfect way to put it, we were too predictable, which means we lacked creativity, which also means that you have to put that on Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen and the entire, Kevin Patullo. Got to put that on him. Brian Johnson, everyone who handles the passing, Aaron Moorhead, everyone who handles the passing game and, the coordination of that and the offense, Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen, most importantly. There's no way you have the number one rushing offense and your play action game and your screen game is almost non-existent or not consistent. You feel what I'm saying? Like the Eagles weren't a team that could afford to take lost yardage plays. They couldn't afford that. So when they ran the ball on first down for the most part in the second half of that season. I just don't understand it. JC says, I think we started running the ball too late in the season. And Nick Sirianni was feeling the pressure and didn't have enough time to come up with better pass play for Jalen. But this is where your skill, your creativity has to come in. I'm not saying change your whole playbook, bro. The playbook is probably like this big. An NFL playbook is like this big, and they probably only use it by maybe this amount of plays throughout the season. You get what I'm saying? A playbook is probably like this. They probably only use this amount of it. So my point is, Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen, you mean to tell me you guys couldn't find any clever plays or any plays to help get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands faster? You feel what I'm saying? I don't care if it was a three-step drop. He threw the ball. He threw the ball to the flat. He only get about a 3 or 4 yard gain. I don't care. It's important for you to take advantage of what you do well, so it can help bolster what you don't do well, and that's pass the ball. There's no reason why we shouldn't have been in plenty situations where we could pass the ball quickly and efficiently in the play action game or the screen game. There was no creativity, and we lacked it. And it matters. You can't have a kid, you can't put all this pressure on a kid like Jalen Hurts and not give him any kind of creativity in the passing game. You didn't allow him or help him get the ball out of his hands quick enough. You made him think too hard back there. And this is what I'm talking about. We're putting all this pressure on this young man, and he's not going to get a fair shake of success with this team. He does not. I love the kid to death, but I just don't think they're going to give him a fair shot. They're not going to give him a fair shot. They're not. Now, maybe they draft a wide receiver, all right, but they're not going to give him a fair shot. And I'm worried about it. I'm truly worried. Because so much can happen between now and draft night. So many trades can happen. It's really something to behold. JC, what's going on? He says maybe Nick was in shock that his offense wasn't working and just didn't want to go away from what was working. But I agree, Nick should have called better pass plays, especially in the playoffs. Yeah, it's like because at the end of the day, right, we can get mad at Jalen Hurts all we want. We can kill Jalen Hurts as much as we want. But if Nick Sirianni is not calling productive pass plays, or if Shane Steichen is not calling productive pass plays, that is an issue. And the layman will look at Jalen Hurts as if he's the sole problem. He's the sole proprietor of this crap show. He's not. Jalen Hurts calls the plays. Remember, Cal Bundy brings up a great point. He says, remember Devonta's first touchdown? They kept trying to do the same play over and over and kept getting the offensive pass interference. Absolutely. First of all, not only are other teams going to catch up on it, the refs are going to catch up on it. A play like that has to be executed damn near perfectly. Zach Ertz executed that play perfectly. He avoided the DB, and the DB had to put hands on him. He didn't go out his way and touch the DB. He just cut the DB off and altered the DB's route, altered the DB's trajectory to pursuing the pass. And Devonta Smith did what he needed to do and secure the touchdown. One thing I noticed about Nick, if a pass play doesn't work one time, he don't go back to it. But if it works, he keeps going back to it like the wide receiver screen left and right. Yo, earlier in the season, we kept throwing the screen to the point where I was like, okay, we got to get more creative than this. You can't just keep throwing screens. My thing is, right, once you realize the passing game was flat and you lacked running, you lacked the presence in the run game, and then you got the run game going, that should have been your moment to mix things in, get creative. That should have been your optimum opportunity to mix things up and get creative out there. It's no way you don't. It's no way you come in and you're supposed to be this young offensive mind. You got the endorsement of Frank Reich, and Frank Reich comes from I don't know what coaching tree Frank Reich is a part of, but Nick Sirianni is a part of the Frank Reich coaching tree. And my thing is, Shane Steichen, Nick Sirianni, at what point did you guys realize, okay, we're a dominant run team? How can we optimize this? How can we maximize this? How can we get the ball in our playmakers' hands quick enough? How can we get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands fast enough so he can get confidence? What can we do? Okay, I got it. You know what? Let's try to get the ball. Let's throw some quick slants. Let's get the ball in our speed guys' hands. Let's get the ball in our playmakers' hands. Let them make some guys miss. Let's incorporate some more tight end screens. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many different opportunities for this offense to be potent. But when you don't have the talent to take you over the top, your coaching has to be that much better. You have to have creativity. And without creativity, especially when you lack talent, you're never going to be successful. You're never going to be successful. You can't lack both. It's okay to have talent and lack creativity. Your talent is going to take you over the hump. It's okay to be creative and lack talent, because your creativity is going to put guys in position to be successful. But when you lack creativity and you lack talent, man, that is a dangerous place to be. Dangerous. But I want to talk to you guys about Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray is supposed to be getting a contract extension with the Cardinals. They've been talking about it, but apparently the contract talks have stalled. So what happens with Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals? Here's the thing, you guys. I know Kyler Murray restored his Instagram and put all his Cardinals back up there. I know, I get it. I understand that Kyler Murray is one of the best up-and-coming talents at this quarterback position. But don't think the Arizona Cardinals won't trade him on draft night. We have to ask ourselves that. Could Kyler Murray be traded on draft night? And if he is, what's their alternative? Because he wants a contract and he's willing to hold out. I think him and his team made an offer or put in a proposal or whatever, but the Arizona Cardinals didn't even bother to look at it, or they didn't bother to acknowledge it, really. So obviously the fact that contract talks have stalled means they're not in the same place. Could it be years? Could it be the amount of money, the amount of guaranteed money? You never know. But will the Eagles be a runner for Kyler Murray? You know what I mean? Would the Eagles consider trading for Kyler Murray? I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they better not, but I'm saying, would they consider it? And that begs the question also, Jalen Hurts' game. Is his game closer to Kyler Murray or closer to like a Russell Wilson type? Because I know Kyler Murray comes from the Russell Wilson tree. You know, guys like Baker Mayfield come from the Russell Wilson tree. You know what I'm saying? And Russell Wilson comes from the Drew Brees tree. Not necessarily from a mobile perspective, but being a smaller, shorter end quarterback. But Russell Wilson is a trendsetter. Russell Wilson comes from the Michael Vick tree. You get what I'm saying? He just, does it his own way. But is Jalen Hurts' game closer to a Kyler Murray or is it closer to a Russell Wilson? I feel like Russell Wilson is a better passer than Kyler Murray. JC says, I will let Kyler sit his little butt down for a year. He has not played like a $40 million quarterback past 3 seasons. Always hurt or fall off the second half of the season. Now, question, JC, is that a coaching issue really than anything? Is that more of a coach issue? Because it's not just him falling off, it's the team. I'm not saying that he's earned $40 million money. I'm not saying that. But Kyler Murray, he's pretty accurate, right? Pretty accurate, if you ask me. Let's think about it. All right, so Kyler Murray's rookie year completed 64% of his passes. In his 2020 season, he completed 67% of his passes. And in 2021, he completed 69% of his passes. So he has gotten better as a passer every single year, technically. But he's never thrown 30 touchdowns in a season. Never. He's never done that. But he is a runner. He's one of those guys that runs a lot. He's never thrown for, but he's like 2020 was an amazing year for Kyler. Amazing. He had 11 rushing touchdowns, 26 passing touchdowns, so 37 total touchdowns. But Kyler Murray, from a quarterback perspective, he's pretty good, accurate. Gives you is able to avoid sacks, able to move. He won Rookie of the Year. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. So, I mean, he's produced. He's produced. He missed 3 games this season for the first time. For the first time in his career, he missed games. He played all 16 games his rookie year and second year. His third year, which is 2021, he missed 3 games. Missed 3 games. And he won 9-5 of those 3 games. So he was productive. So we got to ask ourselves. I mean, Kyler Murray has been productive. JC says Hurts is more of a Wilson type than Murray. Eagle Slayer says he's more like Kyler. Interesting. JC says I think he is small and a total of a 16-17 game season takes a toll on him. Well, I mean, this is the first year he's been hurt, and he doesn't run as much as Lamar Jackson, but he runs enough. And I don't know. You could probably say the same for Jalen Hurts. The fact that him running like that, is that going to take a toll on his game? Eagle Slayer says Kyle's asking for too much. He hasn't earned not even close according to his play. Well, let me ask y'all this question. Is Kyler Murray better than Dak Prescott? Is Kyler Murray better than Dak Prescott? Because right now, Dak Prescott is making about $40 million a year plus. He's making $40 million a year plus. Okay, Michi says I would take Kyler over Dak. Cal Bundy says Kyler's better than Dak. JC says, remember, he was banged up Monday Night Football against the Seahawks the year before. He hurt his shoulder. He didn't miss no games, but you could tell he was playing hurt. Okay. Is Kyler better than Dak? John B says no. Eagle Slayer says Dak is better only by an inch. John B says Dak is better. Eagle Slayer says he's just a choker. I mean, that matters though. That matters. So I mean, Kyler Murray, his first year in the playoffs, he choked against the Rams. He made plenty of business decisions. So it's something to think about. Bite on that, you guys. Is Kyler Murray better than Dak? Some of you say yeah, some of you say no. Kyler has made the Pro Bowl 2 years in a row. He's a rookie of the year, completing 69% of his passes, putting up over 30 touchdowns a season, passing and running. I mean, maybe you guys don't think that he's as good as some of these other guys, but the market dictates that he's going to get paid $40 million plus. That's what the market says. The market says that. The market, Kyler Murray is better than Baker Mayfield. Kyler Murray is better than Kirk Cousins. JC says they're kind of equal. I don't know, man. It's something to think about. It's something we all got to think about. But nonetheless, Kyler Murray could potentially be traded on draft night. That'd be interesting to see. Cal Bunny says Dak finessed that bag. Cal funny, man. Dak says, well, Cal says Dak finessed that bag, 40 million plus. You got to show up when the lights, he be choking like McNabb. Michi says when Kyler don't have D-Hop, he plays average. When Dak don't have Cooper, plays average. They both similar, but I take Kyler still. Okay, that's a great take. That's a great take. Neither of those quarterbacks can elevate the pieces around them. Remember, that goes back to my point earlier. Not many quarterbacks are capable of elevating everyone around them. Aaron Rodgers was able to elevate guys like Alan Lazard. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the other guy? That they used to play for the wide receiver. They used to play for the Green Bay Packers. Not Lazard, but it's another guy. Not Adams. It's another wide receiver. But nonetheless, JC says Dak won Rookie of the Year, went to the playoffs twice, Pro Bowl, but Dak played out his whole contract 5 years, not 3 years. Listen, man, I'm with you. Van Scantley, thank you. Marquez Van Scantley, that's what it was. But like Aaron Rodgers is elevated guys like that. Not many quarterbacks are capable of elevating guys. Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott have not shown in their careers that they can elevate guys. They haven't shown that they can be the best player on the field. They haven't shown it on a consistent basis. You know, they just haven't, right? But Dak Prescott got the bag. The market dictates Kyler's in that conversation. The market dictates that. Listen, you guys, the market is going to dictate everything. And that's what we got to realize. But, you know, final 7 minutes in the show, I want to ask you guys, man, you know, the NBA playoffs are approaching. My Philadelphia 76ers are going to face off against the Toronto Raptors. And it's going to be interesting because if we're being honest, you know, game one starts tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. I believe it's Saturday afternoon. Let me double check that if I'm not mistaken. Oh, 6 p.m. Sorry. So the Sixers play the Toronto Raptors at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Game one of the Eastern Conference in the first round. And I expect my Sixers to win this series, but I think it's going to go 6 games. I definitely expect the Toronto Raptors to, win a game at home and maybe still one on the road. But I see the Sixers winning in 6 games. That's my honest opinion. But you're right, JC. The Sixers can't slip up. They can't afford to slip up. But here's the thing also. The Nets can't afford to slip up either. They can't. The Nets got to play Milwaukee in the first round. That's going to be a hell of a series. It's going to be a hell of a series. No, I'm sorry, I lied. They got to play Boston in the first round. I apologize. Brooklyn has to play Boston in the first round. That's going to be a hell of a series, though. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown going up against Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. That's going to be a hell of a series. Kevin Durant got to play defense. It's like let's be real. The Brooklyn Nets can't slip up either. They can't. Cal Bundy says Boston on Friday Nets. They've been too crazy. Yo, Boston been snapping lately. I'm not gonna hold you. Like they play good. Look, Boston could put up as many points as the Nets, and they play better defense. Let's call it what it is. Let's be real. You can't think you're gonna go in Boston and just coast. They're gonna play physical. That's gonna be a tough environment, especially for Kyrie coming back. That's gonna be a hell of an environment. This series will tell me who won that marriage, who won the divorce. This series will tell me who won the divorce between Brooklyn and Boston. Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart going up against Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. That's going to be a series. Marcus Smart going to be hounding Kyrie. Jalen Brown is going to hound Kevin Durant. It's going to be a tough series. That series might go 7 games. And then even if Brooklyn wins, they got to play Milwaukee in the second round. We know Milwaukee's going to beat the Bulls. Milwaukee's going to beat Chicago. We know that for a fact. JC, look, it's going to be a physical. JC, don't sleep. Don't sleep, man. That's a tough series. Jeff Tezos is going on. That's funny. Tezos. Shout out to Jeff Tezos. He says Boston playing second best ball in the NBA right now. Yo, you on some. Listen, the bottom line, this is going to be such a competitive playoffs in the East because the talent disparity between teams is so slim. You can cut it with a knife. It's so slim. It's razor thin. So I expect my Sixers to win their series against Toronto. It's going to go 6 games, though. It's going to be tough. That Pascal Siakam matchup is going to be interesting. We need to put Paul Reed on him. That's a fact. I think Miami is going to end up beating. Miami's going to end up beating. The play-ins are still being decided, I think, tonight, right? I think those are being decided still, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, so the Cavaliers play the Hawks tonight to determine who gets the 8th seed. The Hawks are on fire right now, so it's something to think about. Cavaliers got to play the Hawks, and the Pelicans got to play the Clippers. I think the Clippers are going to lose. PG not playing. But the Sixers, this is the best. This is the best path for the Sixers into the East Conference Finals. This is the best path for my Sixers. This is the absolute best path. Michi says it's going to be a dogfight series, but somehow Brooklyn going to escape by 1 game. Jeff Tazel says Sixers can win the conference, but they need Harden from the first week he got here. Absolutely. Great point. JC says, not sleeping, just speaking truth. If Nets steal game 1 in Boston, I think the shock factor is going to creep into Boston mind. But I see the Nets series going to 7 games for sure, not sleeping at all. Much respect. Eagle Slayer says Doc needs to adjust, but I know damn well he won't. Man, I don't know, but it's gonna be a hell of a playoffs this year. I have no idea who's winning it all. We know the Phoenix Suns are the best team right now in the NBA, just based off their record. We know the Miami Heat is one of the tough teams. Milwaukee, Brooklyn. You got to think about the Memphis Grizzlies now. They play well. I just think their age is going to catch up with them as you get deeper into the playoffs. You need that experience. I think that's going to catch up to them. But there's so many teams that can really win it all, and I really don't know. I really don't know who's going to take it. I really don't know, but I think my Sixers have a great shot at getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the best path. This is the best path for them. The path for them doesn't get any more wide open than this. This is the best path for them, and I'll leave it at that, you guys. I really appreciate all the love you guys have been supporting towards me, my family, my ups and my downs, my trials and tribulations. I really appreciate all the love and support. You guys have really, really been spectacular supporters of the show. Like I always say to you guys, Chalk It Up Sports is coming at you daily, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You know how I get down, y'all. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And we out of here. Enjoy your weekend.